In 2016, the United States presidential election came under cyber attack from Russians who were attempting to disrupt our democracy. Since then, 25 Russians and 3 companies have been indicted for election interference and hacking. As technology continues to evolve, so do the threats we face, both foreign and domestic. In order to keep our people and our elections safe, it is imperative to realize that these days, a dollar spent on network security goes further than one spent on conventional weapons. During the last presidential election, 23% of adults unknowingly shared on social media what they thought was a legitimate news story, but instead was a story fabricated by Russian hackers. Through just Facebook, a Russian organization that specializes in online influence operations was in touch with tens of millions of Americans. Known as the Internet Research Agency, or by its acronym, the IRA, it's also connected with 1.4 million Americans on Twitter. Why is this important? Russian intelligence may have been closer to your doorstep than you may realize. People in all 50 states were likely targeted by Russian influence operations, with 21 states seeing more aggressive attempts to disrupt our democracy. How are they doing it? By spreading false or misleading disinformation. Russia used 2 main tactics and the power of the internet to divide Americans. Their first tactic is to fabricate social media accounts and steal login information. This can happen across all social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and many others. Russian hackers impersonate trusted news sources, well-known public figures, and pose as grassroots organizations to spread misinformation and disinformation to the public. The second tactic, spoofing and phishing. Hackers pose as a trustworthy person or organization and use emails designed to compromise computers with ransomware, a type of computer virus that's able to extract sensitive information against your will and hold it hostage until you pay the ransom. Using these tactics, Russian intelligence operations can compromise our privacy and impersonate you, your friends, associated organizations, and fellow citizens nationwide. What's at stake? Democracy is at stake. Not only is your privacy in jeopardy, but so is the influence of information related to the 2020 election. If we wish to preserve our democratic values, we must ensure that foreigners have no control over the information on which we base our decisions. As United States citizens, we are the first line of defense against those who would intentionally misguide voters. What are the misconceptions? It's important to note that even though foreign powers have the potential to misguide us with false information, we can be confident that they are unable to change a single vote. Voting machines are not connected to the internet, which provides strong security against cyber attacks. As an American citizen, you can cast your vote with assurance that election results and procedures are legitimate, and that your vote will count towards selecting America's leaders. What are we trying to accomplish? To protect ourselves and our nation's security, we must make a conscious effort to be on guard. Pay close attention when you're interacting with unknown social media accounts, especially when it comes to sharing content. Be careful of who you connect with. Be cautious when dealing with suspicious emails. Don't click links to unknown websites, and never disclose sensitive information like usernames, passwords, or account numbers in an email. Be watchful for misinformation, commonly known as fake news. Misinformation typically focuses on controversial topics intended to divide people and to turn united Americans against one another. Here are 5 real-world examples of suspicious activity to look for when online. Fabrication of photos. Foreign interests will attempt to incite controversial, emotionally charged agendas by doctoring photographs. Inciting tensions. If you come across coordinating conflicting political rallies, events occurring at the same time on the same date, it might have been staged for the purpose of turning the public against each other on social issues. Oppression. Be wary when you come across posts about distrust in law enforcement or see posts intending to divide communities. Heritage. Be wary of pages or comments that attempt to increase tensions among members of our society using historical issues such as racism to pit one against another. Voter suppression. Watch out for ads or posts on social media that might discourage people from voting. So what can you do? Follow a simple 3-step process. Protect, detect, correct. In order to protect yourself, your devices, and your internet accounts, you must question the validity of posts from unknown sources and use a different complex password or phrase for every account. To detect hacking attempts and misinformation, you should read all emails with caution, making sure to investigate before clicking any links. Fact-check all resources to validate the information given. being sure to never share information that you do not know to be true. Report misinformation so others do not fall victim. Report any suspicious activity to social media providers, seeking help from tech support, or alerting the website personally. The most important thing is to stay alert. Never let your guard down when it comes to your own security and personal information. Remember that in 2016, the Russians attacked our minds, not our voting machines. Remember that you are the first line of defense against cyber attacks. You're the one who decides what to believe and what to dismiss, and you alone should know your usernames and passwords. Our democracy is built on the right to vote and the sanctity of the ballot box. Please safeguard yourself against any attempt at interference.